talking a lot about intuitive eating lately, but I realized that it's one thing to tell people and another thing to show people. So today I'm doing sort of a what I eat in a day intuitive eating edition. I know you're probably like, what does rainwater and dirt have to do with intuitive eating? But for me, a big part of healing my relationship with food was finding a deeper connection to it through gardening. Now, before I jump into it, I want to be clear that this is not medical advice and I am not a doctor. I share how I've healed my body through tapping into my own inner guidance, which was something I had to do after doctors and nutritionists failed me. Finding a deeper connection to the earth, aligning with the cycles of the sun, getting out in the morning sun and spending time with nature before I jump into my phone or work or literally anything else has also helped me to heal my relationship with food. I'll go deeper into discussing the circadian rhythm of things and digestion in another video, so don't forget to click subscribe for that. But in the meantime, here's a few seconds of morning glory in the garden. I know some people will see me eating this strawberry lightly washed in rainwater and have a panic attack because it's dirty, but generally speaking, dirt isn't dangerous for our bodies, especially when it's organic the way our garden is. I think that it's really bizarre how afraid of soil that comes from our ecosystem that we have become, but we're not afraid of the thousands and thousands of chemical additives in our food that literally have been proven to cause disease, illness, and cancer. Anyway, I also want to state that I'm going through a bit of a detox right now. I'm going to link a thread on Twitter where I talked a bit about it in the description below. It's cleared out a bit as this is day 8, but due to this detox, I'm actually eating a lot less than I normally do in a day, just because that's what my body is asking me to do to support it. Lastly, I'm in my luteal phase, which is right before menstruation, and during this time my body naturally craves more red meat and bovine-based foods. Definitely hit subscribe or follow if cycle syncing is something you're interested in. First thing straight away, I had a milk thistle supplement, liver bitters, and manuka honey. These were all things that my body asked me to have to support it through this detox. They're not things that I normally eat daily. About 20 minutes later, I had a cube of unsalted raw cheese with raw honey. This is a natural binder which will absorb toxins. Let me know in the comments or replies if you want more information about that, because I could go off on a proper tangent about raw unsalted cheese. About 30 minutes after that, I made a big mug of fresh ginger tea with lemon and raw honey, which I drank throughout my morning Kundalini meditation class. As a side note, I find that my physical detoxes usually align with emotional detoxes. So it's not coincidental that I felt called to stay on my mat and do a few more meditations back to back. I sat for about an hour and a half in these meditations. I also don't normally wait this long to eat actual food in the morning, but again, this is what my body was asking me to do to support it. When I finally did eat, I made some sourdough toast and put a heavy serving of raw unsalted butter on it. Buttering toast with one hand is low-key impossible. After that, I put about 4 tablespoons of chicken liver pate onto the toast and then topped them with some soft-ish boiled eggs. As a side note, if anyone has any tips for peeling eggs that are boiled but not hard-boiled, please let me know in the comments or replies, because I really struggle with this. I topped my chicken liver pate toast and eggs with broccoli sprouts and some flake salt, and then I added about a tablespoon of raw honey into a small cup of raw kefir, and I topped that with some blueberries. Now that it's summer, I really enjoy having my meals outside in the garden. Our garden is really only in full bloom for a few months out of the year, and there's something really special about eating your food outside with the birds chirping and the sun shining. I also choose to eat with my hands as much as possible. I mean, obviously this isn't something I'm doing if I'm out in public, but in the comfort of my own backyard, I'm eating with my hands. It's a habit I learned to appreciate when I was working a photography gig in Morocco in 2017. Moroccans aren't the only culture who have the habit of eating with their hands, and something about it just feels good. And a big part of intuitive eating has been leaning into what habits feel good when eating. There's also some science being studied about eating with your hands being good for digestion, something about the signal that it sends to the brain. I find that eating with my hands also brings that sensory experience, which just aids in mindful eating. And I also don't know if this needs to be said, but everything I eat is organic, and my meat, eggs, and dairy come straight from a farm.
Eliminating the grocery store middleman by going straight to a farm not only helps me to support my local community, but it's also much more sustainable for the earth, and I have zero questions in my mind about the quality of my food. I mean, did you see the bright orange hue of my egg yolks? I rest my case. After breakfast, I got some work done, and then I got ready to go to the beach. I made some green tea with raw honey and lemon. I also kept it warm, and I didn't ice it. And now I know you're probably like, why is this bitch showing me zinc cream, iodine, and coconut oil in a video about what she ate in a day? Well, that's because we often hear people say your skin absorbs everything you put on it. And I don't think that our brains really absorb what that means. So allow me to rephrase this concept for you. Our bodies eat what we put on it. The same way our mouths eat our food, our skin eats our skincare. I use zinc on my face as sunscreen, and I mix iodine and coconut oil together as a tanning oil. These products don't just work as well as traditional sunscreen and tanning oil, but actually way better and without the toxic cancer-causing chemicals. As a side note, I know not everyone likes the pale face that heaps of zinc will naturally give you, so hit subscribe because next week I'm publishing my all-natural skincare sunscreen recipe. After the beach, I stopped at the grocery store to get some carrots, mushrooms, and kefir. I don't usually like to buy conventional dairy in the store, but if I do, I look for anything that says regenerative, organic, and A2. I took a quick shower and got ready to run to a nail appointment, and before I went, I made a quick adrenal cocktail. An adrenal cocktail is essentially a natural Gatorade. It's full of electrolytes and minerals. For this one, I mixed flake salt, unpasteurized aloe vera juice, coconut water, and lime. I also try to source products with EU certified organic labels on them because the EU has higher standards for their foods than the United States. When I got home, I started to make dinner, which was a bone broth soup. When I made this big pot of oxtail and beef shank soup, I left it very plain with just garlic, as I heard the intuitive guidance that I would be preparing it differently each time I heated some up. For this night, I added some ginger as well as some of the carrots and mushrooms I had gotten earlier at the grocery store and some coconut aminos, which I didn't have a ton of plain, so I also used some garlic-infused coconut aminos. I also added cayenne and lime juice. After it was done, I topped it with some green onion, avocado, more lime juice, and flake salt. I ate this outside and it was really enjoyable because some of the neighborhood kids were playing in front of our house, and seeing kids in their playful element just brings me joy. I also heard to leave the ginger in the soup and eat it as it came up on the spoon. This was really spicy. As I've been detoxing, I was also more mindful of my chewing and making sure that I really pulverized the food before I swallowed it. A big part of intuitive eating is listening to your body's hunger cues, but also to the fullness cues. I was starting to get full after only eating about 1/3 of the soup, and as I was getting full, I heard the guidance to make sure that I ate all of the meat and then to slurp up the soup. My Asian friends would be proud of my proper slurp. I really slurped the hell out of that soup. It is just after 9 p.m. I have some chamomile tea brewing. I want to just reiterate that I'm not sharing this to try to get someone to eat what I'm eating in a day or to follow my diet exactly. To be honest, it would be silly to follow my diet exactly because my diet is very much catered to my exact body. It's the reason that I share what I share is because connecting to my own body to heal has been the greatest, most rewarding journey that I've ever began to take. And I started leaning on my intuition to heal my body 4 years ago, and it has changed my life. It changed my life for the better, like a million times over. I really just aim to inspire others to connect deeper to their intuition, to heal themselves based on what they are learning from their body. I'm going to share a video up in the cards about how to strengthen your intuition, because if you want to intuitively eat, you need to have a strong intuition. And I'm also going to link another video up in the cards about common mistakes people make when adopting intuitive eating. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I make new videos every week, so don't forget to click subscribe, and I will see you next week.